So we gotta see what Papara SuperMassive have in store. I definitely do like the ingenuity, but whether it's another take on ONIC PH remains to be seen as we hop into game 1.
We're starting things off. It's both jungles on the opposite side of the map. I do prefer the Suyu on King Kong, one of his signature picks. I think Papara SuperMassive may have taken a big gamble here, giving King Kong one of his most comfortable heroes right off the bat in game number 1.
Not only that, even the Luo Yi to Super Prince, right? He was known for that Luo Yi. Although I would say that Moji's gonna have a faster start. First blood already.
Speaking about fast start, that is right underneath the turret. After Dark can't get away from Super Friends.
How
already
did that happen?
I think Brusco just... Okay, Super Friends popped a flicker, so that might be a chase attempt.
Yeah. Probably the duality reaction right into Brusco's damage. This is a nightmare because After Dark essentially just lost the lane.
Ramping up the aggression really fast. King Kong trying to go for After Dark once again. No flicker, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. It's 2 deaths for After Dark. The turtles haven't even spawned up yet.
Oh man, I think that lane is pretty much over. They're gonna see Moji taking that lizard, which is a very small deal, you know. King Kong doesn't really care about that. The fact that like Novari is in the spot right now, if you fall behind, you essentially just lose a lot of agency.
Oh, here comes King Kong with a massive hit. Bloodspec right into the turret, gets taken out by King Kong. 3-0 in favor of ONIC PH.
Horrible.
Economy's rising. It's not even 2 minutes, Husky.
After Dark might just go down again, forced to run away. I mean, that was I'm not really sure what the idea was from Bloodspec, you know. There's a tick in front of a tier 1. You can't do that taunt without expecting to get pushed under turret. So it was pretty much a free kill given over to ONIC PH. King Kong getting 2 of them. Of course, he's also rocking the killing spree, the new one, which makes him even stronger when he gets these chain takedowns going. You don't even need to get the kill. You just need to be within the 3-second window of the damage dealt.
Well, here comes ONIC PH. They know what's up. They want to go for that purple buff. They're setting their eyes set on Wasa. You got an implosion going on. Wasa goes down once again. And Kirk keeps Bloodspec dizzy. But Moji nowhere to be seen. Right off the map on the opposite side, taking down the purple buff from King Kong.
King Kong's gonna go for the retribution on the purple buff. So both junglers swap the buffs. But I mean, under 3 minutes, Papara SuperMassive forced into damage control mode. And now all eyes are going to be on Moji and Xiao. Because that mid lane, like After Dark, he's rendered useless, at least for the next 5 minutes. And unfortunately for Bloodspec, he's not even 40 yet. He's a full level behind Brusco. So, and not to mention, this matchup is already pretty brutal for the Gatot. And being behind makes it a lot worse.
Yeah, 3 minutes on the clock. It's 2,000 gold lead in favor of ONIC PH. Kirk opening up that map, doesn't see Moji right there and then, but doesn't really matter because he's got his eyes set on that mid lane, trying to push in. So you see that tilting scales, and that's what I like about ONIC PH. Like, if they leave a lane empty, it's Kirk going over and try to manage that wave and try to maintain that lane priority.
Also understanding that with the concussive blast, he just clears wave a lot faster than Wasa can. So to get that movement early, and now an invade into Papara SuperMassive jungle.
Ramping up the aggression. Does look like ONIC PH wants to get a little bit of vision, but the more time Papara SuperMassive has 5 members protecting that orange buff, the better it is for ONIC PH as they're circulating around that map. Won't be able to steal it this time around as Papara SuperMassive breathe some signs of life into their team.
While all of that was happening, Carol actually was farming a little bit on that mid side, so you know they are winning top side.
Oh, underneath that turret, pop that flicker. Xiao down low, will be hit. 1 hit, Kara takes him out.
That is some crazy tower aggro. With King Kong using the iframes on both the Blade Surge and Qual the Evo, he keeps de-aggroing the turret. Meanwhile, Xiao is taking 3 damage because Kara is just, you know, stutter stepping in and out of turret range while hitting the shots with the heavy crossbow. So now, ONIC PH essentially won all 3 lanes, and now we even get another divergent attempt. Kirk sent to the top side of the map.
Yeah, putting a lot of pressure onto Xiao. Doesn't want to give him time to farm or space underneath that turret once again. Here comes Kiara and Kirk taking out Xiao again, but here comes the backup. Kiara down low, taken out by Moji, forced to use that flicker to get out of the way. So they got Xiao. It's 0-2-1, but they lost Kiara in the end.
So a bit of a minor shutdown. The kill going over to Moji is pretty important. That's the goal injection that he needs, right? He is going to be the pillar that holds this team together, at least for the next 3 to 5 minutes for before the rest of his team can catch up. But Xiao being delivered 2 deaths just like that is going to definitely hurt his chances. Now, he can never fight Kara head on.
Sitting underneath the aggro, Kurt giving a little bit of vision onto Moji and wherever he is. Conceal play in the diversion. Misses the implosion though, but it's a free orange buff for King Kong.
Yeah, it's a bit of resources committed, but it really doesn't matter. Super Frizz even gets away. I'm not really sure what the idea was from Bloodsfat. And I gotta say, you did highlight Moji, playing pretty out of his mind yesterday despite losing some games. He is essentially doing his due diligence, changing his pathing according to where ONIC PH are, and that's how he's been able to barely keep up with King Kong.
Speaking about keeping up, it's Papara SuperMassive playing to ONIC PH's momentum. They can't keep up with ONIC PH. King Kong's everywhere, and Papara SuperMassive hunkering down, just sitting underneath that turret, just praying that they play a defensive game, which is not what they want to do when they're facing up against a strong PH team like ONIC.
Not to mention that Papara SuperMassive don't really have a way to start a fight, right? You don't have the most reliable setup like Brusco's Tigreal. For you, it's up to Wasa and Blossom to make it happen. Midside, after dark.
Oh, King Kong always hitting that quell, but not enough. And after dark, gets away safe. That's a diversion play. Kirk taken over to that top side to maintain, but it looks like they won't go any further. This is the discipline coming out from ONIC PH.
Kirk managing to clear out the top wave too. First King Kong smelling that someone might be in the bush. It's all about protecting Moji, right? He did get his purple buff, but ONIC Philippines, they're gonna set up for the third turtle on this top side.
Yeah, Digression showing through. Moji's all alone though. Sees King Kong right there, and then you've got the Retribution. King Kong steals it away.
Now he's 2 levels ahead of Moji, who really doesn't have much more camps to farm, so King Kong goes onto the turtle without any contest. Papara SuperMassive, it just kind of feels like yesterday. I think Team Falcons Mena against Aurora Turkey, we saw kind of the same response right now, but on Papara SuperMassive instead, where 5 men are forced to play together way early on.
Here comes Brusco. He's got Xiao getting that pushback, stopped up, underneath the purple. It won't be enough to take anyone down. The backup came through a little bit too late for ONIC PH, and they lost Brusco in the end.
ONIC PH understood that Brusco is bound to go down. They were not really in the position to fight, but they did get what they came for, right? The purple buff, at least, not the purple buff, at least the mid-tier 1 going down, and that's more than enough for ONIC PH. You want to open up the map, you want to get more control for your team. I still think it's a net positive for the Super Fam.
Yeah, for ONIC PH though, you got Kara with a huge power spike. The Malefic gun already bought up. Papara SuperMassive again on the back foot. There's a lot of damage onto Xiao with just 2 strikes and the physical damage reduction. Man, he's just testing that damage, but Kara is coming online faster than we can say. Holy crap.
Not only that, this Malefic gun makes it harder for Papara SuperMassive to even get on top of Kara, right? Like Badang, Joy, Gatot, they all need to be close range. And speaking about Joy, he is forced away. Moji doesn't have anywhere to play with.
AOG will miss its mark. Kara down low will be able to escape. It went a little bit too deep, forcing Papara SuperMassive out. It's all in the script. It might be going again. Is Wasa taken care of by Kirk? They'll touch and they go. It's ONIC PH just taking what they can. It's the discipline from a top-tier world-class team.
It's a bloody game 1. 6 kills for ONIC PH, 2 for Papara SuperMassive. It definitely felt more than that, but just look at the lead that ONIC has generated for themselves. Purple buff jacked by King Kong. A 6.5k goal advantage. Xiao forced to go for a dire hit. Roam Blessing. And that's how dire things are. Encourage Blessing for After Dark. Really scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point. And this Lord, there's no way to contest this. Papara SuperMassive would just have to take it up the bag. And hopefully defend this Lord Siege without losing an inhibitor and skill.
Call it Respect, call it fear, but here comes Kara underneath the turret. Moji takes a little bit too much damage. As Kara taking the turret aggro, will be able to get out safe, but AOG will land on 2. You got the fist crack onto 2 as well. Papara Supermassive takes down Super Friends. They find 1, but they have to deal with the Lord that's coming up in a couple seconds.
Either way, it's good stuff. Super Friends, he can easily respawn in the next 14 seconds and then just use the diversion to join his team if need be. Brusco wasn't in the right position to provide the counter engage with that flicker implosion, and ONIC PH, they made the decisive call to just back off, right? There's no need to commit to the fight. They're so far ahead. It's only a matter of time before they find a win.
Oh, King Kong with the quell.
Brusco.
Implosion on the back line. Here comes Kara. The cavalry is here. Xiao healing back up as King Kong tries to take him out with the Sever. He will. King Kong defending, tries to go in for Waka once again. It's a double kill for King Kong. This guy is just a madman. You can't get into his face.
King Kong, the beast from Philippines. Smooth movements and 2 swift assassinations onto Xiao and Wasa. Lord's gonna crash bottom. They should be cleared out by that Novaria at least. So no inhibitors will go down on the side of Papara Supermassive in this first Lord attempt. They're gonna lose their holy shoes. But blessing in disguise, I suppose. Bottom might be sieged again. Astral Echo and a bit of defense is enough.
Kirk taking a little bit too much. He will go down by Xiao. So that's good defense from Papara Supermassive, buying them a little bit of time for them to at least equalize ONIC PH. But how do you equalize a 9,000 gold lead?
Yeah, 9,000 gold lead indeed. Moji tried to kind of touch King Kong a little bit, forced to back away. He actually did get his Holy Crystal, but we gotta look at the damage leaderboard because right now it's looking pretty grim for Papara Supermassive. King Kong leading with 40k, followed by Kelra with 27. You look at Papara Supermassive, their damage dealers are struggling to keep up, and it's gonna be damage control mode for the rest of the game. When you look at this replay, this is the one Brusco held on to that flicker implosion, finds the backline. Xiao and Moji forced out of the fight in an instant, and King Kong with the chase down just made it look flawless. That low cooldown that he has, Soul Sever assassination on both the target.
Yeah, on that backside though, I think in hindsight, Brusco actually made an incredible play, forcing Xiao to pop that flicker. He wanted to get over that wall, but he was a little bit too late. He got out safe, but the rest was, as they say, is history. Papara Supermassive unable to find any form of damage when it comes down to big skirmishes. A team that is so pronounced in team fights, unable to win out in these skirmishes.
We just have to see how Papara Supermassive deals with this. This is the second Lord, and as much as they want to contest this, it's going to take a gargantuan effort, right? Kirk is going to set up this slow push on the bottom side, and now it's all about the macro, what Papara Supermassive have been struggling with.
Oh, great implosion onto 2, but here comes ONIC PH trying to get more, takes down Wasa.
King Kong!
Diversion onto the back line. King Kong finds the angle, takes down 2. Xiao's nowhere to be seen. No more damage dealer. Kara finishes Moji up. It's 2v4 as ONIC PH ditches that Lord and wants to go for the end. The bottom lane's already slow pushing in. Kirk flickers underneath. It takes down King Kong though. Kirk goes down as well. It's a 2-on-2 as Kara tries to take down that bottom lane turret. But they're ramping up the momentum. It's Bloodspet against the world. Wasa's coming up in 3. They might be able to defend this one. It's Bloodspet taking a lot of damage from Kara. He is going to be hard to handle.
The game is not going to end here, but Kirk even has a Blade of Hepatitis. That's why he basically just 100-0 after Dark underneath the turret. They felt so strong. It was a minor 2k gold swing for Papara Supermassive, but it's not big enough. They still need more moments like that. Obviously, you have that stray diversion from Super Friends to save his teammate and relocate King Kong in the fight to give them that victory. We see Rose Gold meter on Kara right now. He is already untouchable, but right now, feels like he's near immortal.
Yep, we're starting things off with the Lord Dance, the diversion play up on that top long bush. Xiao taking a little bit low. Moji tries to go for that steal. He gets that Lord. He gets the retribution though. Xiao takes down one. Kara taking down, gunning everyone down. King Kong tries to chase, unable to jump through that wall. As Kirk tries to push him back. No more Moji, no more Xiao. They got that Lord, but the Lord will be spawning up in 4 seconds. They're facing up against 4 members of ONIC PH. This might be it. for Papara SuperMassive as everyone is ramping up the tempo. Kelra once again.
Ah!
No one can stop the gold standard underneath the turret, taking out after dark. Another one to his name. Bloodspec goes down, and the rest, as they say, is history. ONIC PH with the win.
Super Fam strikes hard, true, and fast in this game 1 and completely obliterates Papara SuperMassive from the first minute. Given power picks and given such an early lead, it was only a matter of time before they find a victory. I mean, if you're Papara SuperMassive, you know that from the get-go, this game has already spiraled out of control, and you just gotta go for that hard reset, right? Game 1 was over before we hit the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, I think it was just after Dark's early 2 kills before the 30-second mark that caused Super Friends to snowball out of control and enabled King Kong to freely farm around their own jungle. Moji's buff was contested every single step of the way. Got 12 orange buffs and 9 purple buffs.